What's happening, everybody? I'm back. It's me, your resident supervillain, Mr. J. Washington, here again with episode 5 review of season 1's Doom Patrol on DC Universe. You should already know the drill by now. If you haven't seen it yet, it's gonna be spoilers, so come back and everything, and then you get into it, and then you see that he's back.
Stop acting like you don't want me here, you nigga.
I don't know if I do or don't, just that aggressive to Jesus.
I mean, look, man.
Why do you have that black Uncle Slave sound?
No. Because sometimes when people act like no, you gotta make sure that they know what
For
they
those who are
like.
listening through mics and hear the sound, it's like, ugh, he got something in his throat.
It's like
Yo, man, everybody tends to like the reviews you on, so I was like, if I'm gonna keep the views up, I don't like you personally. I'm gonna just keep
you just are using me, is what you're saying.
I'm using you for the value, the entertainment factor. I mean, look.
That's fine. I'm gonna remember that shit. I'm gonna remember that shit. You all of a sudden, nigga, you gonna end up with some sort of show. I know you said that you were trying to get some sort of sports shit. I'm gonna come on there and pretend like I'm a goddamn player of some sort, and get all the fucking clout from it, and then be like, peace, nigga. And that's just gonna be that.
This nigga's gonna be the first ever Dodgeball Hall of Famer we bring home to the show.
Hey man, I got a long way to go before I make the Hall of Fame. I'm gonna tell you right now.
Yeah, you gotta work on them badass knees. And this is the reason I know, because I know y'all like Pauls. How would he know about his knees? Well, the nigga texted me when he's coming over to the crib before we could watch the episode and do the review. It was like, I'm just done my morning run. I'm on my way. And I was like, this nigga jogs? And then he came over. I was like, so you run? He was like, huh? I was like, you ran? He was like, oh no, a male run. It's me run. No,
it's more like
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to insult you. Yeah.
It's fine. Like, if you're gonna do my evil Mortal Kombat laugh, at least do it right, dog.
Okay.
Toasty.
I don't know where that came from. We start this episode out going back to 1977 in the middle of a smash dance, punk metal fight club type environment. And we see Jane smash dancing with a bunch of white dudes, which I was like, I expect sometimes a Latina girl to smash dance with white dudes.
That's pretty standard.
Pretty standard.
I mean, well, one of the things that we notice immediately is she's wearing a shirt that says "Time Travel Fuck Missile."
Yeah. Just want you to know, you got to pay attention to the little small things that you see in this show throughout the show. Not just in this episode, but every single episode, because they drop jewels as to what the episode is going to kind of be about throughout the episode. Now, here was the fucked up part for me that happened early in the episode. And I'm talking 5 minutes early. So Jane's slam dancing, right? And then she bumps into a couple of bald-headed white dudes. Now, I didn't want to judge. I just thought these niggas had alopecia. I didn't want to just instantly think these motherfuckers was one was wearing a thermal. I'm like, you in a nightclub with a thermal. Maybe you didn't use deodorant. Like, maybe you used that old speed stick to slow down. And they both were Nazis because...
Nah, nigga, they definitely were in the movie Black Klansman. Let's be real about it.
Or the movie American History X.
Or they were in the movie, every white movie with the white supremacists ever.
Or they were the dudes who recruited Michael Rappaport and Higher Learning.
I'm not gonna touch that one. I don't.
You don't remember Raimi?
No, I know.
That was Omar Epps crying. Nonetheless, it was fucked up because they pushed her and they threw her down, and one called her a very racial slur.
I have no shame, so I'll say it. He called her a dyke spick, which I was like, my lord, you kiss your mother with that mouth.
I guess the thing that shocked me about it is you know how I said in episodes 1 that they kind of were going edgy for the sake of being edgy. This isn't being edgy for the sake of edgy. It works. And it's like, again, they pull no punches on these DC Universe shows.
Right.
So we see that, and then we see Jane get taken to an insane asylum where she is abused by hardcore abused. And so, because in the previous episode, you see that Katie, the little girl, is potentially the core personality. But I'm looking at it, I'm like, yo, this is how she manifests the personalities being in the insane asylum.
Right.
But that ain't the case. So
no. That was the thing though, and that's what we'll get into as we go further along in the review. But the thing that's happening is that she already had a few of the personalities before.
Right, all 64. I don't think it manifested.
Right, she's been abused her entire life, and it just turns out that, as we'll talk about in a minute, one of the doctors running experiments, and that's how her personality started developing powers. Yeah,
they were just normal people. They were just personalities, like. Again, we talked about DID every time we talk about Jane, but her ability, like the personalities were personalities.
Right.
It was just the point they went meta and just, being able to murder people.
I see, and this is where I was confused.
I'm cheesing right now because I kind of wish I had 64 personalities so I could forget a lot of people. Like, bitch, I don't know you. That was Earl. Who the fuck is Earl?
That to me was the funniest part, is that the powers had manifested at this point, right? And at one point, the doctor that was torturing her is like, so that wasn't you that set fire to that shit? Or that wasn't you that punched a hole through the TV? It's like, nah, that was that bitch Janet. I don't know Janet, she a bitch. Like, I'm not gonna lie, that would be kind of dope. Is every time someone calls you being like, excuse me, sir, do you have my student loan money? No, I don't. That was Obama. Kiss my ass. Like, that shit would be hilarious.
I just want to be able to be like, sir, we think this baby is yours. I don't like women. I don't talk about it. I don't like Colombian men. All of a sudden, like, I got a personality that like dick. Like, I ain't saying nothing wrong with it, but all of a sudden, so many personalities, just all of a sudden, you got mistaken, Bill.
Bro, can you imagine if you did have DID and that was a situation where one of your personalities was like a different sexuality, and all of a sudden you wake up, you're like,
you just snap out of me and dick
or your Colombian gay personality wakes up just titties in the face, like, oh God, no.
He said, oh my God, get these titties on my face. Get these titties on my face. Oh my God, these titties, they flap around everywhere. Oh God, these titties on my titties. They titties on my titties.
When I'm breast milk, I did that with breast milk.
Oh my God, them titties smell like talcum powder. It smell like talcum powder.
So, we find out Jane is being abused in the mental institution, and that's when we fast forward back to the present day.
Where the Decreator is there, and then, he's the Decreator. So what is he going to do, of course? Decreate existence. And, well...
The first decreation fucking killed me, because everybody in the whole street stopped and was just looking up at it. And there's a black news reporter, and she's like, I'm here where there's... Is it looking at me?
She's like, is it looking at me?
As soon as she got there was a whop. Just like some Thanos shit. Like, just whop.
So that's what I'm going to tell you something. That's what I instantly thought about. I thought about the snap, but I also thought, I'm going to say this. They made the snap look better in Doom Patrol. There was more dramatic effect in Avengers Infinity War.
Yeah, I think that the thing is that the snap with Thanos was supposed to be kind of like a peaceful, traumatically tragic moment. Where this was supposed to be like a, oh fuck, because as soon as she incinerates, everybody starts screaming and running for their lives, and people just incinerate
because the black woman
right.
incinerates. You know what I'm saying? If you see a sister go, you know what I'm saying? If sisters go out like that, you run for your fucking life. I don't know why we use that. I use that as the bar, but
I don't know either. But I will say this, man. I mean, a lot of black women are sitting there under them hair dryers as long as they can take some heat.
Man, let me tell you something. If you ain't never had a black mother in your life that has to take you to the beauty shop, that you are stuck there while she under a dryer for an hour and a half, and if you get impatient, she mad at you. Childhood traumas.
Bro, that's how you know the Decreator was powerful. Like, I'm telling you.
The Decreator was really a black woman who had been through this shit before, or a white dude who dated a black woman.
Or it could just be a malfunctioning hairdryer. That's what that shit seemed like to me, because it was completely random. The eye was random. The eye was a malfunctioning hairdryer. I know a black woman wrote this episode, and thank you for that, sister. I don't actually know that. I'm just fucking saying it. But the fact that the eye was incinerating people like that, that's the only thing that makes sense.
The roach is back. Old preachy ass roach. Oh the hell! And then the rat run up. I was like, rat finna fuck this roach up. That's what I thought. And the rat,
I thought he was gonna eat him.
I thought he was gonna eat him. And the rat roach having the conversation, but the rat don't talk.
Well, he does. He was saying, squeak. And the roach said, yes, there will be cheese. There will be cheese in the apocalypse. Calm down. And if not, we'll make the cheese ourselves.
The ancient Egyptians figured out how to make cheese. So I don't want to go step by step, scene by scene like we normally kind of do. Because last week we did this shit and for some reason it went all off the rails. I don't know how that happened. I blame him. But, I mean, because it's you sometimes.
It's fine. It's fine. I know I'm random. I don't give a fuck. You know, I developed ADHD in myself. Like, I'm doing it right now, but I'm taking this off. Nigga, I had a TV, and I took an old TV that my mom had in her old office next to each other. So I'd be playing video games on the old TV and watching TV while I'm playing video games. So I developed this kind of split shit where I can't focus on anything.
Well, I actually watch TV, listen to the radio, and use the computer while I'm painting.
That makes sense. I understand that.
So that's like, I don't know if it's ADHD or it's just that this nigga got issues.
A little of both.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
We go back to Nernheim and we see Katie, not Jane. Katie is still there talking to the Archons. Well, the one living Archon, because the dead Archon is still living.
He's still dead. He has not moved.
He dead than a motherfucker. First of all, shout out to that actor getting the most easiest paycheck in history. They just told this nigga, lean to the side, sleep but don't breathe. I know what it sounds like. Just don't breathe while you sleep. Just lay there just. What happens if during a take he starts snoring? Like somebody on the boom mic and they in the headphones like, hey, shh. You hear that? Hey, what the fuck is that? Hey, somebody cutting a tree down? The fuck? Who cutting the lawn? We on a lawn. Cutting the lawn.
Oh,
but
fuck out of here.
But we see Katie is scared and she picks up Cliff's brain, which first of all, a little girl just picked up a brain.
Yeah. Dude, children are bold. They don't care.
Yeah,
Kids put their hands in sockets, bro. Like, they touch hot stoves. They like pick up dog poop and smell it and
First
think
of
about
all,
putting it in their mouth.
let me tell you how I know kids touch hot stoves. Because I am a product of that, ladies and gentlemen.
Is that what that is?
Boiling water pulled off the stove when I was 2 years old on my head and my shoulder.
My God.
Yeah, that's your boy. That's your resident supervillain. And there's a training program. Now, we get to see Mr. Nobody. We actually see Alan Tudyk dressed like he going on safari for niggas while he's got
He was not wearing a clan outfit. Why are you lying to them?
Okay, he was dressed like the dude from Jumanji going on safari for niggas. He was dressed like Gary Busey in Surviving the Game when they was hunting Ice-T safari for niggas, okay? How many more references for safari for niggas do you need?
I was going to say he looked like what the Jaguar woman thought that she looked like when she decided she's going to
Which, by the way, fuck this review for a second. Look, if you ain't heard yet, there was a dumb bitch, because you can't call her a woman. That bitch dumb. She tried to take a selfie at a Jaguar enclosure. Bitch leaned over, fell in, the Jaguar tagged her ass up.
And then she had the nerve.
The
audacity of this caucasity, dog.
The unmitigated gall
of those mayonnaise decisions.
To sit there and say,
you know what? I think y'all should put the wall a little bit further away from the fence because someone might get hurt just like I did.
Bitch, that is your fault. Okay?
You decided to literally play with fire. You put yourself within arm's reach of a fucking Jaguar.
Leave nature the fuck alone. I gotta tell them the story about this dolphin later too. I ain't forgot. But nonetheless, we see Mr. Nobody with the chief, and they like this giant centrifuge. And again, this goes back to how meta the show is. Because at one point, Alan Tudyk says, you know, I haven't even been in the last 2 episodes. And so then they try to figure out how to stop, you know, because Mr. Nobody doesn't want existence to end like that. He wants to do what he wants to do. So the Decreator and him are basically not on the same page. And the chief has an idea of basically saying, we need to have our own faith figure, because that's how the Decreator was, you know, created through faith. Now, here's what messed me up. Because for a hot second, I was like, they finna bring in Jesus. I literally was like,
you thought they were gonna bring Jesus?
Who else? We need a creature, somebody based off faith, through religion, or through time.
I get it, but okay.
It's easy to cast a white dude with long hair if you want to culturally appropriate Jesus. Now, you get you a dude.
I'm not going to let you start this fight on this video, man.
No,
like, I mean, trust me, I call on Black Jesus all the time because he's the only
You better get somebody with hair like lamb's wool, feet like bronze clay, wings that mount up and fly far. All right. Now,
thank you for taking us to church.
You're welcome. But they realize they need a they have the Decreator, you need the Recreator.
Well, and this was the thing that was funny to me. So anytime you think about any sort of dark magic, you think of any sort of like God, you think of any sort of like force thing, it doesn't seem like it comes to existence purely based off of faith. It supposedly is already there. What's amazing about this is they realize, no. We just need people to believe in it and to do the exact same shit they did for the Decreator, and it'll make it happen. And so lo and behold, that's literally the plot of this episode, is they figure out we got to go in the past, have somebody believe in this shit, have enough people believe in it, that then we can make the same summoning and we will make the Recreator. And guess who they went to go find, my dude?
They went to find Jane, but there was a specific personality of Jane they needed. Now remember, there's 64 of them. I'm not sure if we will see all 64 throughout this first season,
Probably
but
not.
we're gonna get pretty close. Because we'll see Jane have those moments where she's going in between personalities. Right. And there's one we see she's in the chair about to receive what it looks like shock therapy, from one of the main therapists, the one who was primarily abusing her. And at some point, when he like grabs her, chokes up and everything, she has her flick moment, or I want to call it flit, but flit is one of her personalities. And all of a sudden she has this beautiful little gray streak and these crystal blue crystal blue eyes, like aqua blue. Like aquamarine, like aqua velvet. You remember aqua velvet?
That was pretty, yeah, I remember aqua velvet.
I mean, I know I sound like I'm like 50 talking about aqua velvet.
You really do.
That's like me bringing up, you want some Stetson?
Nigga, you sound like you want some like backwoods and some prune juice right now. That's what you sound
Try
like.
to stay regular, baby. Fiber keeps you regular. But in the process, we see the emergence of Dr. Harrison. Dr. Harrison is an actual psychotherapist. But the only difference with this personality is her meta ability is she can charm and influence people. So she can tell you what she wants you to do. A la, for those who don't get the reference, Silver Fox in the Marvel Universe. If you don't know who that is, y'all remember X-Men Origins Wolverine? I know.
Why would you bring that up?
I know. That's why I said I know. The chick that was persuading everybody, because you know, white women, when they touch people, they can persuade. Well, that's what she did.
I mean, that's fair. I thought it wasn't as directly influenced as the Purple Man, but that's where my brain went.
Yeah, it's sort of like Purple. Jessica! I just always feel like you should do that every time you say, Jessica! But she did that, and she started the spread of it throughout they got her to do it. She almost made the doctor stab himself in the eye with a pen.
Well, and that so I don't know if you picked up on this. So that's the original timeline, is that she does that she.
Oh, that is the timeline.
That's how she gets out. But because they're rewriting history, remember. So Mr. Nobody, because obviously he's omnipotent and
he can go through time.
He can go through time and shit. So he was whispering to her like the voice of God. She goes, "Who the fuck is that?" And he goes, "Oh, I'm like the burning bush that talked to Moses. I'm that same voice that told Noah to put a bunch of animals on the ark. Like, I'm here to tell you that we're gonna create. You're gonna help me create, like, bring me to fruition and shit." So essentially, he tells the doctor to go and start influencing people to start this cult to make the Recreator.
But she starts the cult in the insane asylum with the lunatics, if you will.
The patients.
The patients. Yeah, we can't call them lunatics no more.
No.
The patients.
No, you don't want a random white person. You call it a colored nigger, do you?
That was a deep stretch. Like,
no, not at all. We just changed our lexicon. Now they call you an African American gentleman.
Afro-American, and I'm bald as shit. But
and I'm Afro-Latina. Tino, Latinx? I don't know. No, seriously. I'm like Afro-Latino.
But you said you Afro-Latina.
Nigga, because I was excitable and I fucking forgot my little... You don't have to put the proper little gender thing in English.
I just was like, yo, this chick got some titties and a full goatee.
You can fucking... Nigga, you need to hush all the way the fuck up. All the way the fuck up. Yo, if y'all didn't know, this nigga used to wrestle. All right?
It's easy to find, but listen, not like it's a secret. But what you get is you see how the cult spreads and the different ideologies and how do we see the book? How do we get the book? And then somebody says, well, if it's a person, wouldn't that be too obvious? Yeah, well, why does it have to be a man? First you have a discussion, why does it have to be a man? Why can't it be a woman? Then it's like, why does it have to be a person at all? Somebody says, why can't it be a dog? I like dogs. Shouts out to the black dude with the afro who comes up with the solution. I like dogs. And in that moment, Winston and I looked at each other and was like, that's why they call this episode Paw Patrol. First of all, this episode is called Paw Patrol, which, by the way, my daughter loves Paw Patrol. Shouts out to Chase, Sky, Roxy. What's another one? Chase, Sky, Roxy. I remember all of them.
Well, those are the niggas that came up with Baby Shark.
Baby Shark, Baby Shark, Baby Shark, Baby Shark. Mommy Shark, Mommy Shark. This is not to do this because I won't stop. I'm mad at this. But we see different things happening. So we see that now, they're figuring out how to make the book come to life. Because again, rewriting history. But in the process, now the chief and Mr. Nobody are working together, and the chief walks back in the mansion, and everybody like, so how the fuck are you walking?
And Cyborg doesn't get that apparently even saying Mr. Nobody causes the chief to throw up everywhere violently. So he keeps me like, so you work with Mr. Nobody? No, but seriously, Mr. Nobody let you go, will you shut the fuck up? So Mr. Ha! It was like that.
But also, we get a return of Winston's favorite character, Baphomet, a.k.a. the horse head with a nail in his head.
well, to she. Remember, because once Baphomet gets resummoned, the chief and Baphomet start flirting hardcore.
Like, hey, Baphomet, how are you?
Oh,
Niles,
I haven't seen you.
And then so Willoughby was like, do y'all need to get a stable or some shit?
I nigga said a stable. That shit killed me.
Not even a room. Do y'all need to get a stable or some shit?
That shit fucking killed me.
And so we figure out, about the book being written. And now they have Baphomet search for where the book is going to be because, again, history's being changed. And at one point, Baphomet doesn't see it. But then they bring up Nernheim, and all of a sudden you see the chief like, are you fucking serious? Goes and grabs the snow globe, which, by the way, Cliff finds out that they're inside a snow globe.
He gets so frustrated, he throws some snow, and he all of a sudden sees that shit splat on for us as the camera, and he goes, what the fuck? And he starts to walk, and then he goes, this isn't real. This isn't me. How the fuck? I'm not going to die in no goddamn snow globe with your ass.
With your ass. He's like, fuck this. Okay. He just goes off. But so now they're trying to find the book. And so they go to a dorm because Baphomet tells them the book's been found. They find a dude with a bunch of tattoos. One is like love and peace in like Arabic. It's a bunch of different, languages tatted on him. Flip him over, life is ass or something like that. It was like
no. On the back there was a dude fucking a girl from behind, and then some bunch of other random shit. And they go, he isn't a fucking book. He's just a douchebag.
First of all, can you imagine being the dude who had to play the douchebag role? Because those tats look real.
Right.
Those tats were the light green. You know what I'm saying? If you ever have a tattoo and you're light skinned or a little bit, or pale. When you have them for some time or their prison version, they get faded. And those look faded.
Faded.
But they got faded. I know it just looked like we had a cue for that shit, but it just happened.
It just happened,
Okay.
Man.
And so they end up, while looking for the dude, they realized that he wasn't the book, but the dog was. And
so the thing that killed me is that all of what we're not doing is we're not doing it the way the story was, where you would flash back to the past and something.
Because it goes back and forth so much.
It jumps back and forth the whole time. So here's what's so fucking funny about this. It's the fact that as they're like, well, it's not this dude, it's a douchebag, they cut back to the place where the cult is coming up with how the book will be written, and they're like, yeah, it should be a dog. And they go, and you don't want the ink to be seen because then everybody will know it's some sort of book.
So how do you see it?
So it's invisible ink. Okay, cool, but then how do they see the ink? Oh, I know, we'll make them ring a bell. So when the bell rings, all of a sudden you'll be able to see the wording. So this is the best part about this whole building up, right? So Mr. Nobody, again, because he serves as the villain/narrator, is talking about this plan was working perfectly, except for Jade is fucking crazy. So then they go, she looks to one and goes,
she's the Marilyn.
Yeah.
You're my
chosen one.
My chosen one, yeah.
You're going to remind me that I need to ring this bell so that we can do this and we can summon the Recreator. And she goes, got it. And then everybody goes, well, what do we do? And she goes, dance. Dance like a giant eye in the sky is watching you. And lo and behold, we cut back to them finding the dog, and there is a group of former crazy asylum patients. I'm very careful about my wording.
Because you about to say inmates, so like, you niggas is criminals.
Hey man, Arkham Asylum and shit. Anyway, a bunch of former asylum patients, old as shit, with a giant umbrella with an eye on it, dancing to Ring My Bell
down the street, and they just,
you can ring my bell, ring my bell, ring my bell, ring my bell.
ring my bell.
I can't hit that key, but the point is, what's amazing about this is they're all doing their dances. The old white people dancing like old mayonnaise people. The black people doing a little bit of the fucking electric sliding and whatnot. And everybody's just loving their motherfucking life.
But and so in the process, so they hear it, and as they hear it, and inside the globe, Marilyn comes out of a door, the chosen one, and talks to Pippin. I think that's Jane's personality in the globe, and says, "Look, you need to be who you are. You need to bring the Recreator to life." Blah blah blah. And all of a sudden, Dr. Harrison comes back, and then when her and Cliff and Marilyn looking, here comes one of the Archons with the 4 dudes, and they're like, "Oh shit!"
Here the only live Archon, dog, because the other. I love how you call them Archons.
I said Archon. I said that, or
you said Archon.
I probably said Archon.
It's fine.
But one of the living Archon and 4 of the guards come, and then Jade and fucking Cliff, they just slide on past. And Marilyn, first of all, who smokes cigarettes with an oxygen tank. If that ain't the realest shit you see ever happen on a daily fucking basis.
Hey, man.
And so she was like, you know what? It's like, my only God I believe in is the boss, Bruce Springsteen. But then at one point, while Cliff and Jane are sliding past and getting free and going to the tower to ring the bell, Marilyn kicks over her oxygen tank and pulls out a fucking dirty, hairy cannon and shoots the shit out of the oxygen tank. Shit explodes. These motherfuckers go up and ring the bell. The words come off the dog. All of a sudden, there's now the Recreator, which is...
Hold on. So if this, the whole time, is the Decreator, all of a sudden, just whoop, there's the Recreator.
And they're having a staring contest, which means the eyes are like this to each other, like, hey.
Well, the Recreator pops everything back into existence and then goes, what up, nigga? They just have a staring contest.
And then one of them was like, what is this? It's like, it's a staring contest. So basically, after all that is said and whatnot, they go back to the house and the chief is still there. And, you know, things are starting to come back. So you got Larry Trainer, Negative Man, Rita, you've got Willoughby and Cyborg. And, you know, now they're like, hey, well, this has got to go back to normal. I got to go back with the deal that I had with Mr. Dude, he who shall not be named. And so Cyborg...
Harry Potter reference during the show. They actually said that at one point.
Cyborg is like, I'm not going to let him take you. Like, I'm going to fight you. And so he's like, no. And then all of a sudden he's about to. Here comes Cliff and Jane through the door. Jane goes from Dr. Harrison back to Jane because she starts crying. And she's about to walk. And then all of a sudden, when Cyborg was like, I won't let him take you, and pull out his arm cannon, nobody stops everything. And then you hear a sentimental moment from the chief says, you promised me you would let me say goodbye to them. You promised me you'd give me time. And he was like, the kid pulled out a gun, okay? Like, fuck these promises. Here was the problem. So Chief gets sucked back there. The whole time Cyborg is charging his cannon, and nobody is sitting doing narration was like, little did he know he left his arm cannon charging. His shit exploded off his arm.
Why is that funny to you?
Because I watch him go down like,
Well, he did go on the ground and start screaming like a motherfucker. See, I imagine when that happened, that's exactly what happened to Plaxico Burress all them years ago. When he shot himself just in the club and just like doing whatever kind of move and just, and they're like, yo, we'll call 911. Don't call 911. They gonna send my ass to jail.
Cyborg was like, don't press the button. They gonna call my daddy. Don't press my button. And Cliff was like, man, fuck all it. First of all, I just like to say, if you've ever watched any prison videos that show prison rape, this is what it looked like. Because he flipped Cyborg on his stomach.
Oh, good Lord. Oh, good Lord. Oh, my God.
He flipped him on his stomach and pinned him down.
And then pressed his button just over and over again. He just kept pressing his button.
And because what happened was it forces not only his body to start regenerating, Because that's what he can do. He can heal himself with the cybernetics, but he called his dick.
It calls an SOS to Silas, so now we got to deal with that shit, which we'll come back to. And that's pretty much it.
Also, we see how Jane and the Chief met, because we go back in time to actual history that showed how Jane got taken and they were going to put her in this place called the Icebox. So the staff, they drag her, they throw her in the back of a van. It's cold.
That's not what was going to happen, bro. They were literally going to go lobotomize her.
Oh, that's what it was, lobotomize. I thought you said the Icebox.
Well, no, he said with an ice pick.
With an ice pick,
They say it's what, an ice pick day outside or some shit like that as a joke. But they were going to go do that old school where they would cut out part of your frontal lobe with an ice pick and it would essentially lobotomizing her and then making her just completely So fortunately, the Chief was waiting in the van and pretty much just like that. The Chief was waiting. I'm not looking at you. It's fucking weird. The Chief was waiting in the van and that's how the relationship started. He said that nobody's going to hurt you anymore. Though you are hurting my brain right now. This is a lot. It's a lot. You see what the fuck I have to deal with, goddammit? So a couple things real quick that I thought were really great that weren't central to the plot, but like were just great character development. I still want my Rita backstory, but I'm really appreciating that they are pushing her character forward. So she genuinely is upset about that. She goes to find Elliot, that was the book, and he gets decreated at one point, and she gets very upset about it because she feels like not only was the world not saved, but this young man actually still died that she was starting to care for. He kept insisting that she was like, well, what is the one food you wanted to try? He was waiting for Elliot to be like, pussy. But
first of all, what Elliot was about to say what he wanted, he got decreated like a motherfucker.
I mean, that is true.
First of all, listen, if you are a young man and whatever your sexuality is, but if you just happen to like women, and you're like, what's the one thing you wanted to taste that you haven't tasted yet? And you've been watching all the great porn that's available via your cell phone, mobile browser access, xnxx.com. And you're like, what is the one thing you want to taste? And you see a lot of black men eating some... I'm sorry. I don't know. Overall, what did you think of the episode?
I gotta say, I appreciate how much consistency they're bringing to the show every single week. I gotta give it another 4.5. Like, shit, I'm tempted to almost give it a 5, to be honest with you, because this has been my favorite episode so far. Fuck it, I'm gonna give it a 5. It's been my favorite episode so far, man.
For me, it's still a 4.5. Like I said, I'm not saying I don't like the show. There's certain things that I still get confused about that I have to remind myself about when it comes to the Doom Patrol comic lore and the history, but I love the ride it's taking you on. When you bring up the whole Rita thing, I think we're seeing her hero's journey.
Right.
From being a self-absorbed actress to becoming a hero, just as much as we're seeing Negative Man. Right. We've seen Cliff take on that role earlier. Jane is what she is. Cyborg is just got to figure out who he is outside of the programming. But that in the story, and again, I was skeptical of Mr. Nobody, but now seeing what it is more, I'm understanding. And now the whole battle for the Chief. So I'm giving it a 4.5, 5 stars, 4.5, whatever the fuck, you know what I mean. But that is pretty much wraps up this review. Thank God we finally got through it. Winston, bro, as always, man, glad to have you on board. You are a gentleman, a scholar, and a nigga to use my microwave without asking, and I appreciate you.
So you did hold it against me. See, this whole time, like, I got here and I was just like, I brought my own lunch and I went to put in the microwave and I stopped and I said, oh shit, nigga, can I use your microwave? He's like, yeah, nigga, you've been here enough times, it's fine. It's not a big deal. Lying ass bastard. He was waiting to fucking you son of a bitch.
That's what we do. Tell people how they can reach you as always.
You can find me at the Swaggy Blerd, TheSwaggyBlerd, across all socials. Hopefully Instagram and Facebook are back up after that fiasco earlier this week. Obviously Twitter as well. I didn't even really care and pay attention to it. Everybody else lost their mind. I was going through shit. Anyway, find me Twitter, Instagram at Mr. J Washington, MRJAY. You should know how to spell Washington by now. Get your life together, people. Join the Supervillain Squad on Patreon, patreon.com/Mr. J Washington. I just put up some thoughts about Captain Marvel and Trolls with DC Movie News' own Johnny LaQuasto. So it's an interesting conversation talking about a Marvel subject with a DC movie host. Also, check out the Mad Titan podcast. Everywhere you get your podcast, listen on and get you caught up on everything in the Marvel and DC live action cinematic universes. If it's Kate Cal and Mask, I'm talking about it. It's Barbershop Talk for Nerds. Join in, and when you want to join in, call the Mad Titan podcast hotline, ladies and gentlemen, 818-276-6947, 818-276-6947. Leave your questions, comments, concerns, and I'll probably get them on the next upcoming episode. I think that's all we got to say. You can ring his bell, ring his bell, holla.
Also, before I go, keep singing. Next week will be a little bit different because I will be in C2E2, so Winston probably won't be with me unless I can Skype him. But that means I have to get back to some shit. So we will holler at y'all later. I'm out here.
Ring the bell. Ring it in. Ring the bell. Ring the shit.